Liverpool approached Newcastle. Club-to-club contact was made, submitting a record bid for Alex Isak. They have communicated their interest to do a deal in the region of 120 million. That was this morning, and that was Fabrizio Romano, who I've got more breaking news from, just coming into us now.
Wow.
And it was David Ornstein, so prepare yourself for this. So that happened. What Liverpool have done, by seeing Newcastle bid for Ekitike, they've had a little regroup and gone, right, we know that they want Ekitike. Allegedly, they want Ekitike to play with Isak in the same team, which would change the formation and all sorts. So Liverpool have gone, we know they want him. They're not going to sell us our number one target. So what we'll do is bid 120 million for Isak and test your resources. Let's see how much he isn't.
Test your
resolve.
resolve.
Sorry.
Yeah.
You know, let's see how much he really isn't for sale, because it's 150, so there's 120. Let's get talking now. And then Newcastle have gone no instantly. Then in the last kind of hour, according to Keith Downey at Sky, he claims that there was no club-to-club contact. Right. So how does that look for the wider scheme of things? It either ends this way. Newcastle do not get Isak and Ekitike. Liverpool have seen the opportunity and bid for Isak, allegedly, or not a bid, but they've expressed their interest in submitting a deal. They've inquired, they've knocked on the door, and then Newcastle have gone no. But now Liverpool could enter the race for Ekitike and take their number one target off them. But then also, if Newcastle don't sell this summer, then we could, and we get Ekitike, we've bought their replacement for Isak next summer. So I actually love the kind of chess and checkers that are going on here. It's quite impressive to watch from afar and go, isn't it special how Liverpool have almost regrouped and gone, right, this is the strategy. Newcastle have got their strategy, their stance. But right now, as it seems to be, I think it gets to a point, or it must now get to a point, at some point within the next week, where Isak has a decision to make. Liverpool are clearly interested. The offer will be there. And he has to now almost come out and say, I'm staying at Newcastle, to dispel all those rumours. And where does Hugo Ekitike end up in all this? It's fascinating to watch.
It is, yeah. And I've got to say, it credit almost to Liverpool, because there's been a lot of what I would say Machiavellian activity going on behind the scenes there. I must admit, as soon as I heard that Newcastle were pursuing Ekitike,
yeah,
and I'm sure you probably felt the same way, you thought, hang on a minute, does that mean that they're preparing the groundwork for Isak to leave? Maybe Isak said a couple of things behind the scenes. Maybe he's not signed that contract yet. So they're thinking to themselves, we're not going to get caught cold. Let's move for this young kid in Germany. He's blowing up. So the reports are that he's very impressive. Shall we get in there now so that if Isak does go, yeah, I mean, we're not caught short? And I must admit, the way things are shaping up, it would not surprise me at all if Liverpool get Isak. Which for me is, yeah, because I mean, for Arsenal fans, that is very disappointing to hear, and I'll tell you why. Because initially we were linked with Isak. I mean, as far as I'm aware, no formal bids were submitted. But it's not a secret that Arsenal were admirers of Isak, and it was out there, and all the fans were imploring the club to go for Isak. We were being told, no way, he's not leaving. He wouldn't even consider it. He's taken Newcastle, he's got Champions League football, why would he leave? He's extremely happy there, blah, 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 he's settled and all the rest of it. So to hear now that Liverpool made an inquiry or submitted an interest, it's kind of disappointing as Arsenal fans. I mean, have we lost out to Liverpool there? Because, I mean, as good as the Gyökeres signing would have been, I don't think any Arsenal fan would...
He's been your long-term main target.
Exactly. Yeah, even before Gyökeres come on the scene.
Exactly, years before. And if Liverpool managed to get Isak in and Newcastle end up with Ekitike, I do think there's a world where everyone's happy.
Except Arsenal.
Except Arsenal. I think Newcastle, in the end, accept 150 million. In the end, it's not the end of the world. Because they reinvest it straight into the next Isak, by the way, who is Ekitike. That's what the stats and pundits say.
And honestly, I would say this as well. Isak does come with risks.
He's injury prone.
And you've got a young guy because that's Newcastle, by the way, coming in. Like I said, a lot of people are talking about him very excitedly.
Yeah.
Good numbers, apparently good attitude, got all the minerals required, apparently.
Yeah.
So,
and actually, I know you've just said you wouldn't be surprised if Isak ends up at Liverpool. For me now, I think, and I'll put my hat on it, and this will be my prediction for what happens now. I think Liverpool end up with Ekitike and Newcastle keep Isak.
yeah, it's going to be one of those two, innit? I reckon. I hate
One of us is getting.
I hate to say this, but I reckon they'll get Isak.
What happens to the three in midfield? What happens to Elanga? What happens to Anthony Gordon? You can't play them all.
Exactly.
So I think that was almost a smokescreen. It was a bit of a, right, we're going to, as Newcastle, we're going to pressure. We've already told you he's not for sale, but now what we're going to do is go for your target, your number 2 target, and we're going to force your hand. You now must react within a day, basically.
I'm also hearing,
Clever.
maybe you might know a bit more than this, but when I was chatting to Curtis, he was suggesting that in the past, Isak's kind of dropped one or two, like, yeah, I admire Liverpool, you know, it's one of my favourite grounds to go. Is that right?
I think one of the clips you're referring to, he was being interviewed by Adam Smith on Sky, and he asked him the question, what's your favourite away ground to play at? And he said Anfield. He said it was his first game actually for Newcastle, I'm pretty sure. Anfield away, scores on his debut at the Cop End, and we actually beat them 2-1 in the last kick of the game. We won. And he said the atmosphere was unbelievable. So you're right, he has dropped a couple of hints, but at the same time as that, he's also in person said to Matty Renton, like, I'm staying after they won the trophy.
No
Obviously,
disrespect to Matty Renton. I love Matty
that.
Renton. That's my guy, but come on, bro, that is not.
Yeah, that's not.
I was going to use the term of promises of comfort to a fool, but I won't go there.
Yeah,
because Matty Renton is no fool. But you know what I'm saying? If you're a player like Isak and you're chatting to a fan and he says, "Oh, please stay, come on," you're not really going to say, "No, I'm not staying."
Exactly. You're not. What are you going to say?
Yeah.
You just won a trophy. You've just given Matty Renton the best day of his life.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? You're going to keep him happy. But
so
it's so interesting how this now. You know the power plays now that we're seeing from these clubs. I mean, it was smart from Newcastle to bid for Ekitike, but now Liverpool have gone, yeah, cool. Watch this. And hit back. It's very,
and they can do that. They've got leverage,
can
right?
you
I mean,
imagine
they're
being
a big
fly
club
on the wall in these meetings, though.
Exactly.
When they're organising this deal.
They've got leverage. Liverpool. They're a massive club, right? They're winning things. You know what I'm saying? So, and you look at the array of talent that Isak will be playing alongside. And listen, Isak is no fool. Mm-hmm. He'll be thinking to himself, boy, Wirtz there, Salah, them man there, Virgil. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's thinking to himself, I'm gonna be winning stuff. And look at it like this as well. He can leave Newcastle saying, look, I've delivered you a trophy, you're first in X amount of years, delivered you Champions League football. Look at the sell-on value, you know what I mean?
You're getting a great player.
Yeah, so I've left you, man, in a great space. Okay, I know it's disappointing, but come on, man. It's not like a Trent situation where you're thinking, if you're going to leave, at least. This man say, look, give you a trophy, giving you Champions League football. Look at the amount of money you're making. Let me go now to Liverpool and fulfill a dream. Because players want to win things. And no disrespect to Newcastle, but he's much more likely to win things with Liverpool. And when I say things, I'm talking about major honours. He's much more likely to win major honours with Liverpool than he would with Newcastle.
Yeah.
I reckon he's going. I can see a scenario
Let
where
us
it
know
does
in the
go.
chat. We could even do a poll for you. Just the final time that hopefully we ask this question today. Where does Alexander Isak end up? Is it Liverpool or Newcastle? Let us know in the chat.